System rebooting.
Hey guys, Reboot Rick here with my first ever Reboot reviews. And I figured, let alone is this one of my all-time favorite movies, it's also the 30th anniversary for the first Back to the Future movie. And on top of that, today is the day that Marty, Doc, and Jennifer went to the future in Back to the Future Part 2. And you probably already knew that though, because it's all over the internet. So anyways, I thought to myself, which one should I do? Should I do the first one because it's the 30th anniversary? Or should I do the second one because it's the day they went to the future? Then I sat there, I really can't decide. So I finally came up to a conclusion. I'm just going to do all three movies in this one video. So sit back, or stay standing I guess, I don't know how you like to watch YouTube videos, and get ready to travel through time from the 1800s all the way to today in the Back to the Future Reboot review. Okay, so before we go any farther, just so you're all aware, this review will contain spoilers for all three movies. So if you haven't seen the movies yet, stop watching now. I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, if you're still here and you haven't seen the movies yet, can't say I didn't warn you. And everyone else who's here for the review, let us begin. Okay, the way we're going to do this, I'm going to start off with the first movie, move on to the second, and then the third. So if you're only here to see one review, if you want to watch number 2, go here. If you want to watch number 3, go here. And for part 1, it's coming up right now. So in the first Back to the Future movie, we start off in the town of Hill Valley, California, with a contemporary high schooler known as Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, who doesn't have the most pleasant life. He's looked down upon by his high school principal, Mr. Strickland, played by James Tolkien, and must also endure a harsh relationship between both his father, George McFly, played by Crispin Glover, and his mother, Lorraine McFly, played by Leah Thompson. I say both his parents are bullied by Marty's father's boss, Biff Tannen, who's played by Thomas F. Wilson, and the few up parts in Marty's life are his girlfriend, Jennifer, played by Claudia Wells, and his strong friendship with his friend Dr. Emmett Brown. He's a scientist, played by Christopher Lloyd. Doc is currently working on a time machine where, due to unseen circumstances, Marty is accidentally sent back in time to the 1950s, where he inadvertently interferes with his now teenage parents' first meeting. So now Marty has to reunite his parents, lest he exist in 1985, and it makes it even harder because Biff Tannen is now younger as well, and he's given him trouble in the past. As well, he has a deadline to be at the clock tower to get back to the future with the famous lightning strike of Hill Valley to power the time circuits.
Oh, please, for the love of Jesus, just let me freaking...
Let alone the special effects in this movie are amazing. I'm surprised a lot of films from the 80s, the special effects in them is really good, and this is not one of them that is exempted from that category. But the performances of the actors and actresses was phenomenal. I say, like Michael J. Fox, he playing as Marty McFly, he had to play someone who was in a conundrum, just like he didn't expect it. I say, it's like going, like he has a script to read, so he knows what's gonna happen, but he played it as if it was like new to him. He didn't know that was going to happen, so he had to solve it like on the spot. He played it perfectly. I say, it's like you can tell he's a kid that's thrown into the 1950s, but he has the mindset of being in the 80s. Then there's like Christopher Lloyd. I say, he played Dr. Emmett Brown flawlessly, in my opinion. I say, he gave you the feel of a mad scientist, but at the same time, you feel like he's down to earth. He's not like going out like young Frankenstein type stuff. Like, he's not making a monster. He's sane, down to earth type deal. But like I said, all the actors in this movie, actors, actresses, all of them were phenomenal. I say I am really happy. I say the commitment in this movie is solid all the way through. You don't see it start getting a little fader as the movie goes on. You see that in certain movies. Not a lot, but you see them in some. As the film gets deeper and deeper, you can see like the acting quality gets a little bit worse. But in this film, it holds out all the way through. I say, this movie opened in theaters on July 3rd, 1985, and it made over $200 million at the box office. And with a budget of $19 million, that's phenomenal. I say, that just destroyed the budget it had. I say, I can only imagine what I would do if I had 200. I would only, let alone $200 million. I'd imagine what I could do if I had $19 million. I say, all in all, I thought that the Back to the Future was one of the best films ever created. I'm glad Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale had this idea. I say, this made a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. I say, I'd advise you to go out and watch it again, rewatch it, I don't care. Tell your friend to watch it again. It's such a good movie. I say, and if you have a friend that hasn't watched it, tell them to crawl out from that rock they've been living under for the past 30 years and just give it a watch. Just give it a watch. I say, in the end, I would rate this movie, I would give it 5 out of 5 flux capacitors. I say, I'd advise everyone to watch this movie again and again and again.
Doc, you better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Okay, so now on to our next movie, Back to the Future Part 2. I say, we start off at the very same point where the first movie left off, so things have barely settled down from the excitement of the first movie and all that stuff. When suddenly Doc comes in the DeLorean and I say, to keep it going, I say that with news that could ruin the McFly name unless Marty, Doc, and Jennifer stop it before it happens. So Doc whisks them away into the future, October 21st, 2015, which is today, where Marty must deal with Biff's grandson, Griff, as well as save his family name. So Marty foils Griff and his gang in a chase on hoverboards. I say, Marty, after defeating Griff and saving his family name, gets the idea for making money scheme, quick get rich quick scheme. But while Jennifer is away from Doc and Marty while they're doing this, Jennifer gets taken away to her future home, thinking that she's the future Jennifer. So now Marty and Doc have to go get Jennifer from her future home. But while they're away, old Biff from the future takes the DeLorean and gives him to himself in the past. To same idea like Marty had, a get rich quick scheme. I say, so after Marty, Doc, and Jennifer get back in the DeLorean and go back to 1985, they notice things aren't quite right. I say, things aren't going well at all. Like, things are all different. People are in Marty's house that aren't supposed to be. Say, fires and everything, crashed cars. They learn that Biff had got the almanac sometime in the past, and he's used it to get rich, obviously. I say, so Marty has to find out when he got the almanac, and then go back in time to get the almanac from Biff before he can use it. So, after figuring that out, Doc and Marty take the DeLorean, go back to 1955, where they discover that's where Biff got the book first. So then they have to get the book from Biff. Once they finally do that, Marty's burning the book while Doc's flying in the DeLorean. I say, and while Doc is flying in the DeLorean, he gets struck by lightning, which activates the time circuits and sends them somewhere in time. I say, leaving Marty trapped in the past with nothing to do but go to the younger Doc from that time to get back. Say, and that's where the second movie leaves off. let's say the second installment of the Back to the Future trilogy, let alone still has the same amazing effects as the first one did and all that stuff. It just opens up so much imagination of what could have been in the future. Let's say from then it was the future, or today, like, for what the future was going to look like in 30 years. Even though we might not have Mattel hoverboards or flying cars, it still gives us the idea today of what could come. We could still get hoverboards in our future. We could still get flying cars in our future. Let's say it just opened up so much imagination for a lot of people. Not saying that there wasn't this idea already, just a lot of people who see this movie get that idea, whether it's a little kid. Like, what little kid didn't want a hoverboard? When I saw this movie when I was little, I always wanted a hoverboard. But yeah, the actors in this movie, they're still very determined. Throughout the movie, they're committed 100%. You don't see it get worse as the time goes on. They're committed to their job, their roles, and it's wonderful. I love that. It makes it seem a little bit more real about how our future could be when they were they acted like that was just every day. Like, it didn't seem like anything weird, so it seemed more possible that it could happen. Back to the Future made less than the first one, but it still made over $100 million. On its opening weekend, it opened on November 22nd, 1989. Which it destroys its budget of $40 million. That's phenomenal. That made $60 million profit. That made more than its budget. It's amazing.
Hoverboard. Where is he? Here. There! He's on a hoverboard!
In the end, Back to the Future Part 2 was a great movie. I'd recommend it just like I did the first one. Everyone should go watch it. Watch it again. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Probably watch it right after you watch the first one. Yeah, it's probably the best idea. Still. But there's so much going on in this movie, though. I think that Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, they might have been able to make this into 2 movies if they really wanted to. It was still a great movie, but it was so jam-packed with what was going on. But nonetheless, still a great movie. I loved it. Still, I'd give Back to the Future 4.5 out of 5 hoverboards. Just due to the fact that there was so much going on in the movie. It's 4.5 out of 5. That's still an A. It's a great movie. I'd recommend you go watch it. Now on to our last Back to the Future movie, Back to the Future Part 3. The final installment in the Back to the Future trilogy picks up right where it left off, just like the second movie. You got Marty trapped in the past and teaming up with young Doc again. Marty receives a 70-year-old letter from his inventor friend Doc. It tells Marty that he has retreated a century in time back to the 1800s to live a relatively quiet life in the Old West. Doc reveals that he hid the DeLorean time machine in the abandoned mine outside town, and Marty can use it with the help of young Doc to get it working order to get back to his future, 1985. But after some research, Marty discovered that Doc, stuck in 1800s, died shortly after he wrote the letter. Meanwhile, Doc, being in the past, he had fallen in love and everything with a woman played by Mary Steenburgen. Marty goes back to get him and convinces him that he can't hide in the past from the problems he's caused in time. So he realizes he has to go back. He decides to return to the present with Marty. But first they have to find a way to get the DeLorean up to 88 miles per hour, because when Marty went back to the west, since there's no roads or anything like that, he tore the fuel line, lost all the fuel, so they had to find a way to get back to 1985 from the 1800s without any gasoline. So in the third installment of the Back to the Future film franchise, it left you wanting more. The way it ended, you just wanted another movie. It left it on somewhat of a cliffhanger and all that. I say, with it had action, suspense, it had love, it had adventure, it had all the hard work. Just amazes me. They built like a 3-foot tall model train just to crash into the ravine. I say they built the town down, not up. They built the town down to be in the west. I say the gunfights, all the work in there, and everything else in the final film. I say I could go on, but we'd probably be here for quite a while. Still, this film surprisingly made the least on opening weekend. I say it opened on May 25th, 1990, and made $87,000. I say it's still really good because the film's budget was the same as the last one, had $40 million. It still made over double of what the budget was, which is really good. I say, and it just even with that gave it a great ending to a great trilogy. I'd say I couldn't be happy with how this ended. Everyone still wants a fourth one. I would love a fourth one, but I really don't think it's going to happen. I say, but who knows? Future's long and wide. I say, got a long time. There could be another one at some point in time, but who knows?
What the hell?
I say Back to the Future Part 3 gave everyone pretty well everything they wanted. I say it's a great final film. It gave everything. They gave love, it gave action, adventure, say anything, just pretty well everything everyone wanted. That's why I give this film 5 out of 5 model DeLoreans. I say I advise everyone to go watch this one too, rewatch it, tell your friends, watch the entire trilogy. I say this whole trilogy is just great. I say I'm glad we have this piece of art in the world in our generation to watch. I say I love that I've had that chance to watch this movie. Say it's wonderful. Like I said, I advise everyone to go watch it. Watch it with your friends. Watch it with your family. It's a wonderful piece.
Hey, just tell me one thing. Where did you learn to shoot like this?
7-Eleven.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. This is my first review video. You normally won't be this long, and hopefully as time goes on they'll get a little bit better. I know it's probably not the best quality. What should I start with here? I'll start low and I'll say 30 likes. If I get 30 likes in honor of the 30th anniversary of the Back to the Future trilogy, I say I'll do another review, and I'll review. You guys name in the comments. Do you want me to review another movie? Put the movie and I'll pick it at random. So you want me to review another game? Put the game. I might pick it at random, or say anything. Name a product. I'll go use it. It's probable, depending what it is. I say I'll use it and I'll give a review for it. I say so. If, like I said, you want me to watch a movie, I'll watch it. I say you want me to play a game, I'll play it. You want me to use a product, I'll use it. I say I'll give you guys my feedback, let you know what I think of it. I say. So until next time, I'll shutting down, and I'll talk to you guys later.